you were backing up Billy and you were playing ZZ Top songs, and he threw it to you a couple times, and you kind of solo.
Yeah, so a little bit
in that ZZ Top style.
Yeah.
How do you do that? What do you think about when you get thrown a solo in a Billy Gibbons ZZ Top style song?
I just kind of try to be respectful of the style, but also not try to sound like Billy Gibbons.
Today's episode is sponsored by Gator Cases. Guitarists, like any other musician, value the advantages of proper protection for their gear. Guitars, amps, effects, and accessories all need safe transport and storage. Luckily, Gator's got you covered. What's happening next week at the time of this recording? You're going to Hawaii.
Oh yeah,
Billy
we can
Gibbons.
talk about that. Yeah, so we're going to Hawaii next week. Going to Honolulu. So I've been to every state in this music thing.
How have you never been to Hawaii? This is so
I've
weird.
been to every state in the United States except Hawaii, and so I can cross that one off the list. Even Alaska a couple times. But so I'm looking forward to that. Never been, and obviously it's a huge honor and distinct pleasure to share that experience with the one and only Billy Gibbons. What do you talk about with Billy Gibbons?
Like, do you ever have those Tom Buchenbach conversations with Billy? Like,
oh my God,
does he have kids? Does Billy have kids?
No kids.
So what do you talk about with Billy that's not music related?
Man, well, again, he's still super excited about all the music stuff. So we do talk about some guitars and pedals and stuff like that. But mainly it's like food and these experiences, and he loves to get on the phone and look at, different, things of all sorts. I mean, he'll talk about, we'll talk about, so a lot of subjects. I mean, a lot of stuff. He's a very extremely sharp and interesting human being, like none I've ever met before. It's very unique, and very on top of it, and very sharp, and so and extremely down to earth, and very, very, very gracious with his time. I've never seen anybody like that. He will not ever rush somebody in any situation. And dude, I've been with him at Trader Joe's. I've been with him at the gas station where he will buy stuff for people, and he's constantly sending people things, and so we were at the Fender grand opening of the Fender showroom that's here in East Nashville, and me and Billy went to that thing together. When we left, Billy goes, "Man, there's a turnip truck over here somewhere, isn't there? The little, kind of like our version of Whole Foods, our little health food store." And I went, "Yeah, man, right down the street." And he goes, "Well, let's swing in there, man. I'm looking for this hot sauce." And he shows me a photo of it, and he's like, I was like, "Yeah, man, let's go in there." So we go in there, and I go there every day, and I walk in there, and we're walking around, and I see this lady who's a little older, and she's working there, and she looks at me, and she goes, "Really? Like this guy?" And I went, "Yeah, And so, and she walks up, and she was kind of tearing up. She goes, "I just want to tell you, thank you so much for all the great music." And I swear to God, we were in there for 45 minutes, and he was talking to this woman about tamales and hot sauce for 45 minutes without any rush to get out of there.
Okay, but for you,
don't
you kind of go, "Come on, Billy, wrap it up. What are we doing here?" You could have given her 10 minutes. That would have been plenty. Yeah, I got to get out of here. Isn't that what's going through your head?
I know it. Well, yeah, it starts to, and then you stop and realize, man, what a huge lesson that is, because if he's able to slow down and take it and be patient with somebody and to talk to him for that long, it's really incredible. I mean, kids, and it just doesn't matter. He's just a really unique guy that I think once you get to know him, there's a lot of lessons there, man. I mean, he's not a diva by any means. It's really, really cool and refreshing to be around him. And man, Oates is the same way. Just an awesome, awesome dude. All those guys that are like that, Vince, all the not to say older, but all the guys that are older than me that we look up to, man, 9 times out of 10, they're awesome human beings. They got nothing to prove.
How do you back up Billy Gibbons?
But we're going to Hawaii.
Yeah. We're going to Hawaii.
We're going to go to the Blue Note. We're doing 3 nights with not ZZ Top, but with the BFGs, which is Chris Layton from Stevie Ray Vaughan's band that you guys have seen forever, and they call him Whipper. And then Mike Flanagan, who'll be on the B3 organ. So it's kind of an organ trio, and I'm just getting up to play the last 3 songs of 3 nights with them. So we'll do 16, 17, 18. and I'll just play the last 3 songs with him, kind of as a special guest. So
What songs you gonna
looking
do?
forward- I have no idea.
What do you do? Because
don't know.
there was a video that just came out where you were backing up Billy and you were playing ZZ Top songs, and he
Yeah.
threw it to you a couple times, and you kind of solo
Yeah. So a little bit
in that ZZ Top style.
Yeah.
How do
yeah.
you do that? What do you think about when you get thrown a solo in a Billy Gibbons ZZ Top style song?
I just kind of try to be respectful of the style, but also not try to sound like Billy Gibbons.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna just do my kind of like whatever what I would do in that genre of music, which is pretty much blues. You know, I'm not gonna try to sound like anybody else, but I want to. You know, you have a, especially at the Lifetime Achievement Award ceremony we did, where I knew I only had a couple. You know, you just get a minute. You know, to do your thing, so you got to come out. You got to kind of come out guns blazing a little bit.
Give us a guns blazing.
Yeah.
I know you're on an acoustic, but can you give us like a guns blazing
Oh
lick
God, man!
to come out with?
I don't know on this thing, but I was going to tell you, what was I going to tell you about that Lifetime thing? Well,
Lifetime Achievement Award.
yeah, so
You
that's
had a
where,
minute to come out guns blazing.
yeah. So in that situation, you know, that is not a time to kind of like, you don't want to overemphasize the humility in a situation like that. You want to acknowledge that of course you're going to be humble and respectful. But if you're playing LaGrange with Billy Gibbons and there's 20 other people on stage and you have a spotlight moment to stand out and take a solo, then that's the moment where you don't go over the top and start playing with your teeth and shit, but you gotta put it into 5th or 6th gear and kind of make your statement at that point, you know. So it's a fine line to navigate through that world, but that's the experience too, you know. So I've seen some people that were younger and not quite as experienced, and I'm not saying this myself, but just all of our peers at 40, 50, 60 years old. And they come out guns blazing, but it's a little too much, and they might even step on their tail a little bit. And so there's a fine line. You kind of got to know how to navigate through those situations. And it's fun to be a little older and have a little bit of experience. I still don't know shit, but it's fun to have just enough experience to where your confidence is it's a healthy dose of confidence. Let's just say that.
Right.
You know, it's not overconfident. We still all know, I know where I fit in the food chain in Nashville as a guitar player and the world. And I think that's a very healthy thing to always keep.
Where do you fit? Where do you think you fit in your mind?
Oh, I don't know. Somewhere in here, you know.
Somewhere between here and here, or somewhere here.
between here and here. But, you know.
No, come on.
But
you have to feel confident.
I think that's important, though. I think it's important to circle back every once in a while and just, you know.
Wait, but you have to feel confident in your ability as a guitar player, right?
I mean, I do. Yeah, I do. But I know what my lanes are, you know.
That's what it is.
I know what the lane is. So I'm not gonna put myself in a situation that I don't feel comfortable in, you know. And I know what those situations are. And sometimes it's fun to bend the rules a little bit, but for the most part, you know, and I'm not a guy that likes to play it safe, but I like to have my parameters and feel comfortable. I love playing with the trio. That's the most fun I've had in my life, is playing with this trio.